the philosopher who changed how we think. Picture yourself walking through the bustling streets of Athens in the 5th century BCE. Merchants are calling out their wares, young men are debating the latest political events, and artisans are sculpting magnificent works of art. Among them stands an unassuming yet captivating figure, an elderly man with an unkempt beard, clad in a simple cloak, engaging a group of citizens in lively discussion. His name is Socrates. Socrates did not write books, nor did he establish a formal school, yet his influence on Western thought is immeasurable. Unlike the sophists, teachers who charged for their instruction, Socrates roamed the agora, the central marketplace, engaging Athenians in deep conversations about virtue, justice, and the meaning of life itself. His method was simple yet revolutionary. He asked questions, not to provide answers, but to force others to think critically and challenge their assumptions. And as we shall see, this habit of relentless questioning would ultimately lead to his downfall. In a society that valued rhetoric and persuasion, Socrates stood apart. He did not claim to possess wisdom, nor did he lecture in the manner of a traditional teacher. Instead, he posed questions, endless, probing questions designed to expose contradictions in people's beliefs. This method of inquiry, now known as the Socratic Method, was both a tool for education and a means of uncovering deeper truths. His dialogues were not mere intellectual exercises. They were challenges to the very fabric of Athenian society. Socrates questioned everything, from the nature of justice to the purpose of democracy itself. Was a political leader truly wise simply because he held power? Did a skilled speaker necessarily possess moral virtue? Could the majority always be trusted to make the right decisions? These were dangerous questions, and not everyone appreciated having their worldview so thoroughly examined. Socrates' reputation as a thinker was solidified when an event of great significance occurred. One of his friends visited the Oracle of Delphi, the most revered source of divine wisdom in the Greek world. When he inquired whether there was anyone wiser than Socrates, the priestess gave a surprising answer. No one is wiser than Socrates. Upon hearing this, Socrates was baffled. How could this be? He did not consider himself wise at all. Determined to prove the oracle wrong, he embarked on a journey to question the wisest men in Athens, politicians, poets, and craftsmen. What he discovered was astonishing. Though these individuals claimed wisdom, their knowledge was often superficial, riddled with contradictions, or based on mere convention rather than reason. In contrast, Socrates knew one thing with certainty. He knew that he knew nothing. This paradox of being wise precisely because he recognized his own ignorance would become the foundation of his philosophy. Socrates' method of questioning did more than expose ignorance. It forced people to refine their thinking. His technique, now widely used in philosophy and law, involved breaking down complex ideas through a series of logical steps. Instead of directly stating his own views, Socrates would lead his interlocutors through carefully crafted questions, guiding them to contradictions in their own arguments. Imagine, for instance, a young man claiming to know what justice is. Socrates might ask him to define it. The young man gives a confident answer. Perhaps justice means obeying the law. Socrates would then ask, "But what if the law is unjust?" Slowly, through each question, the certainty of the young man crumbles. By the end of the conversation, he realizes that he is far less certain of justice than he initially believed. This process, though frustrating to some, was transformative for others. It laid the groundwork for critical thinking, rational debate, and the pursuit of knowledge through dialogue rather than mere assertion. Though Socrates' method of questioning was intellectually invigorating, it was also deeply unsettling to those in power. Many Athenian leaders, particularly those who thrived on their reputation for wisdom, found themselves exposed and embarrassed by his relentless questioning. They saw him not as a philosopher, but as a nuisance, a subversive figure who encouraged the youth to challenge tradition and authority. Rumors began to spread. Some accused him of impiety, claiming he did not honor the gods of the city. Others charged him with corrupting the youth, arguing that his teachings led young men to question their elders and disrupt the social order. In a time of political instability, following Athens' defeat in the Peloponnesian War, Socrates' enemies found an opportunity to silence him. In 399 BCE, Socrates was formally charged with corrupting the youth and impiety. He was brought before a jury of 500 Athenian citizens. Given the opportunity to defend himself, Socrates did not beg for mercy. Instead, he delivered one of the most famous speeches in history, asserting that his mission to seek truth was a divine duty. His defense, however, did not sway the jury. By a narrow margin, he was found guilty and sentenced to death. Offered a chance to escape, he refused. To Socrates, fleeing would mean betraying the laws of the very city he had spent his life questioning. On his final day, surrounded by his grieving students, he calmly drank a cup of hemlock poison, accepting his fate with unshakable composure. His last words, as recorded by Plato, were enigmatic. Credo, we owe a rooster to Asclepius. Please don't forget to pay the debt. Socrates' death did not mark the end of his influence. It marked the beginning of a philosophical revolution. His student Plato recorded his teachings and founded the academy, shaping the future of Western thought. Plato's student, Aristotle, built upon these ideas, influencing fields as diverse as ethics, politics, and science. Socrates' legacy is a testament to the power of questioning. His life teaches us that true wisdom is not having all the answers, but daring to ask the right questions.